Howdy folks, and welcome to FoundFlix. On this Ending Explained, we're looking at presents, where a family becomes convinced they are not alone after moving into their new home in the suburbs. That's an appropriately simple plot summary because that's pretty much the gist of it. A family comes to realize there is a ghost in their house. What makes this one unique is it is told entirely from the POV of the presents. The story is certainly basic and more than a little beholden to Poltergeist, even to the extent of using the same font. No question of what they were inspired by here. Really, it is a visual side that makes this one compelling, along with the mystery of the identity of the spirit. Just who is behind the haunting and why? That's what we're looking at today. So let's check out Presents, breaking down the story, diving into the mystery of the spirit's identity, as well as explaining the ending. From the beginning, our unique POV is established, as a Presence looks out a window to a parking area below. It glides through the empty rooms of the vacant house, seemingly unaware of what to do. It floats around downstairs aimlessly, until it heads back up into the closet of one bedroom and hunkers down. The next day brings some new activity. First, a real estate agent, Cece, shows up and is running late. The Presence curiously follows after as the door is unlocked. She runs through, flipping on lights, and gets the place tidied up. Soon after, the Payne family arrive for a showing. Mama Rebecca is curious about the school for her son Tyler. She's told it's in the district for North, the exact school Rebecca wants for her superstar son. Cece informs them that the house isn't even on the market yet, and warns there isn't enough inventory to meet demand. So if they want it, they'd better act now! Daughter Chloe is drawn to an old smoky mirror. It's made with nitrate glass and was original to the house. She calls it spectacular, the heart of the home, really. The parents discuss the certainly big choice of buying a house, giving us an insight into their dynamic. Rebecca is laser focused on getting the house entirely because of the school district. Chris tries weekly to point out a nearby fire station and thusly, sirens all the time, but she is not even listening to his side. He has some more serious concerns. Is it too soon to move? Rebecca is confused. For Tyler? No, it's months before swim season. No, Chloe clarifies, already showing us clearly which child Rebecca prefers. She dismisses his worries, sighing that that's life. She's sure Chloe will be fine. Change is good after all. With his feelings quickly brushed aside, Rebecca is ready to pounce on the house. Chloe has to wonder, do they get a vote? And Pops urges to just let Mom do her thing. Chloe goes on to explore upstairs and enters that same salmon-walled room from before. The Presence is there and scoots back into the closet. Chloe peers over in that direction, perhaps sensing that something is there. Later, a group of contractors come to slap on a fresh coat of paint, and there's more uneasy feelings. One guy is painting that same salmon room a fresh coat of Sherwin-Williams Breezy. Lovely. When the boss wants to know why he's behind, the painter reveals that no one else is willing to even enter the room. Definitely feeling that something is off in there in particular. But a few uneasy feelings aren't enough to keep the pains out, and soon they get settled in. All their stuff now occupying the once bare home. We overhear a bit of Rebecca on the phone, and through what we can glean, she did something not exactly legal, all in the name of doing everything for him. Tyler, of course. Lady's a little bit obsessed. They ask how she sleeps at night, and she retorts she sleeps just fine. Now, we don't actually ever find out what she did, but it must be at least moderately unsavory, showing us how far she's willing to go for her son. Not her daughter, though. This is made abundantly clear when she discusses things with him. She mentions the big thing, whatever it is, and she doesn't want Tyler to know about it. She goes on that from the moment she was pregnant with him, she knew her purpose in life. Tyler must be protected. She takes his hand, saying that she never felt this close to another human ever. Tyler is even all, yeah, well, what about Chloe? Oh yeah, her, that chick, whatever. But it's different with Tyler. She just wants him to know in the end it was all for you. All for what, he inquires. And all she'll admit is that it's okay to go too far for the people you love. It doesn't matter how big of a mistake you make, if you do it for the right reason, you can live with yourself. Convenient mental gymnastics. Poor neglected Chloe is by herself, sobbing quietly. The Presence gets right up on her, and she clicks off the light to get some sleep. It lingers nearby, and she turns back again as though she can feel the Presence there. She rises up in bed and gets to her feet. The spirit backs away slowly into the closet. Nadia, she whispers towards the door. In the morning, the Presence shows off some impressive skills. While Chloe is in the shower, it peers around the room before focusing on a picture of Chloe and another girl, most likely the aforementioned Nadia. Seeing some school books out on the bed, the spirit closes them and stacks them all neatly on the desk for her. It takes another book floating through the air and sticks it back in place. Chloe then enters and is shocked to see the books have moved, gasping at the sight. Chris pops in, making sure she's okay. And Chloe fibs she thought she saw a mouse, but was mistaken. Clearly there is a spirit of some kind in the house, and it seems to be focused on helping Chloe. She knows something is in there now, and quickly spins behind her, the spirit continuously moving to dodge her gaze. Chris is becoming increasingly worried about his daughter. Rebecca dismisses him once more. She's just a nervous kid. He insists this is different, and wants to get her tested for drugs. She knows the same people Nadia did. Rebecca fires back that Nadia smoked weed since she was 11 years old. Chloe is not her. She's got her head on straight. The only thing that can help in her mind is time. Chris still tries to get through to her, but she's distracted with work. There's been 2 dead kids in 2 months. Nadia just stopped breathing and was found dead in her own bed. Imagine what that was like for the parents. They consider a different medication or maybe a therapist, and Chris just wants to fix things. She reiterates the only thing that will help is time, and coldly proclaims she won't let Chloe take them down with her, basically tossing her to the side for Tyler's success. Chris is upset, as all of her advice means they do basically nothing at all. Now Rebecca is annoyed. At all, she repeats in frustration and moves into the other room. At all. Chris has more problems on his plate and must know something about whatever his wife did. He calls a lawyer friend of his wanting to ask some questions, only getting his voicemail. He leaves a message before polishing off a bottle of vino. Sometime later, Chloe is in her room and hears Tyler coming home with another boy chattering away. She goes to take a look and hear them talking about her. She runs back to her bed to play it cool, and they come by to say hi. He introduces her to his new friend Ryan, and they exchange haze with no enthusiasm of any kind whatsoever. Tyler's room is all wall-to-wall medals and trophies showing off his various successes. It sounds like his new pal has a crush on his sister, uttering "dude" with a knowing smirk. Tyler is all, "Dude, don't even." They move on to planning a rager and of course need to score some drugs. Drugs again, there we go. In bed, Rebecca is pounding away at her laptop as usual. Chris enters with a grumble, sounding like they are dealing with issues selling their previous home. He asks what she's doing, and Rebecca lies about getting some kind of computer virus, and of course has to boast that Tyler won all of his swimming matches earlier. Just so you know. Chris is still trying to help Chloe. He's found a new female therapist for her. Maybe that will help her open up a bit. Rebecca replies uninterested and repeats her mantra. Time is what she needs. He reminds her that she does have 2 kids, and she shoots back, "Oh yeah, I remember the 2 of them literally coming out of my body, bro." Chris goes to check on Chloe, asking about her day. Moderate to below average, he shrugs, to which he concurs. How about a burrito, he offers, and she'd love one. He moves on to Tyler's room, busy working on some school stuff. He doesn't even answer, and Chris figures, yeah, he probably wants a burrito too. His lawyer friend calls him back, and he sneaks outside for some privacy. He fumbles his way through a hypothetical legal situation. What if one person in a marriage did something, not strictly legal? What happens to the spouse, he wonders, even if they're not involved? Then he asks, well, what if they are legally separated? Showing us that he's considering leaving Rebecca. We don't hear the answer, and Howard is curious how he's doing. Chris admits he's not doing great. Everything and everybody is falling apart over here. As soon as hanging up, he starts to bawl, overwhelmed by everything going on. On its own, the presence floats through the quiet house. It focuses on some family pictures, and one of Chloe in particular, reinforcing that it's her it's interested in. Just then, she along with Ryan come home and have the place to themselves. Chloe goes right to the quite stocked liquor selection and helps herself to a drink. Ryan declines, and she calls him a pussy, chugging her drink down. They share in some cringy banter, and basically she invites him to check out her room. Wink, wink. He still seems to not be getting the hint, and he randomly brings up that Tyler has a mean streak. This seems surprising to his sister, chuckling, how? Apparently he's intending on playing a prank on some girl Simone, but doesn't know why her specifically. She still wants to give him the full tour, so to speak, and he relents. Fine, show me your stupid room. They share some edibles and ride the stony wave. He's drawn to her pictures and even seems to recognize Nadia, recalling that he thinks he met her once at a party or something. Ryan is curious about their relationship, her saying that they were best friends. He presses further and wants to know what it's like to have somebody close to her die. Chloe's emotions pour out. It's like the world cracks apart and you fall into this hole. The sides are made of mud and you cannot get out. She also in some ways wanted to be there in the room when she died. Not to stop it necessarily, but to go too. She thinks that maybe she did, or she stayed, or maybe Nadia wants to come back. Chloe feels she opened up too much and apologizes for not making sense. Ryan tenderly strokes her hair, wondering what it was like for Nadia to die. Did she do it on purpose? Chloe is adamant. No, she just got some bad shit. Chloe then brings up the feelings that she's been having lately, as though Nadia is here with her. Ryan is all, what? And she distracts him with a makeout session. The emotion starts to flow again. He takes her in his arms, assuring her this This is going how she wants it to. He moans that his whole life he's never been in charge of anything. He grunts that he has nothing. He decides nothing. But this is all her. She nods and things start getting a little hot and heavy. The presence watches over and lets out a rumble, causing the entire shelf to fly off the closet wall, spilling stuff everywhere. Not a fan of Ryan, it seems. Ryan laughs it off as cheap-ass drywall being responsible, but Chloe is really starting to believe that it is something else. This is pretty much confirmed when she gets up to the closet and a breath blows her hair back. Ryan asks what happened and she says nothing, blaming it on the weed. Now she knows for sure there is a spirit inhabiting the house. Chloe attempts to broach the subject with the family, but it does not go well. Her dad at least listens, but he hasn't felt anything strange in the house. She truly does believe there's a presence here. At first she just sensed it, but then things actually moved. Tyler shows off a little bit of that mean streak, thinking this is all total bullshit. She messed up his life last year, but is not gonna let that happen again. They start shouting, and Chris puts his foot down, screaming, "I won't live like this." An annoyed Tyler leaves the table in a huff, and Chris tasks Rebecca with calming him down. He's your favorite anyway, go deal with this little prick. He does come down later and apologizes to his dad for being an asshole. Chris knows that it's his sister that needs to hear this. He did try and tell her, and she told him to buzz off. He urges him to mend things with his sister now, or if he lets things fester, things will only get worse over time. She has been through a lot. Tyler scoffs coldly, "Oh please, reality was never her thing to start with. It's only now acting like a freak that they're even paying any attention to her. She is looking for weird shit, and that's why she thinks she's seeing this stuff." Hoping to pull some kind of sympathy from Tyler, Chris reveals that she actually knew both girls that died, not just Nadia. Tyler is unfazed, scoffing about idiots putting shit in their bodies. According to him, it's not the dead friend that's the problem, it's that she's messed up in the head. Disappointed, Chris tells him that he knows there's an excellent man inside of him and would love to see him soon. Now word from this week's sponsor, Mood. Mood is an online cannabis company that's revolutionizing how we deal with life's challenges, from sleepless nights to stress-filled days. They have created an impressive lineup of functional gummies designed for a huge variety of specific health concerns. No worries, as it's all made with 100% federally legal THC blends, and you can get it discreetly delivered right to your door. Plus, you can get 20% off your first order at mood.com with promo ending. They really do have a ton of different gummies to try, helping with everything from immune support, mental clarity, and menopause relief. I personally have tried the Sleepy Time gummies and have been using them a few weeks now. Impressively, they actually do help me get to bed a lot easier. Best of all, not only does Mood stand behind everything with an industry-leading 100-day satisfaction guarantee, but as I mentioned, listeners get 20% off their first order with code ending. So head to mood.com, browse their amazing selection of functional gummies, and find the perfect gummy for whatever you're dealing with. And remember to use promo code ending at checkout to save 20% on your first order. At some point, Rebecca checks in with Chloe for a change, and their interaction is as cold and awkward as you'd expect. She hands over a freshly ironed shirt, her daughter mustering a small "thanks." Rebecca says nothing and begins picking up laundry off the floor. About to leave, she stops herself. "Oh, have a nice day," she chuckles, giving her a cold kiss and hug. Yikes. The difference here is even more striking when Tyler regales the family with the intricate prank they pulled off on that girl Simone. As he adds on disturbing details like getting her to send a naughty picture, the rest of his family is horrified, but his mom laughs the whole thing off. "Oh, you are so bad," she giggles. Everyone at the school heard about how they scared Simone in the loft, and word quickly spread to the entire school. Not only that, but the picture they supposedly deleted also somehow made its way onto the internet. Chloe was able to find it in moments without any effort, really. Tyler defends that he didn't have anything to do with that, and they all start squabbling again. The presence rushes from the family and goes right to Tyler's room, wrecking all of his precious awards. The family follows after, and all witness what could only be described as paranormal activity. Chloe enters the room, and the lights go off, and now she's certain it must be Nadia. The family huddle in the backyard and try to figure out what to do. Tyler is still not believing his sister, and Chris has had enough, growling it wouldn't kill you to stand up for her once in your life. Chloe steps in and feel that they shouldn't actually be concerned. Nadia doesn't mean any harm. How does she feel that? She's not sure, but she can feel it in the same way that she can feel her presence. She's convinced that the spirit wants to help in some way. Tyler refuses to even entertain this crazy conversation, and his dad, sick of his shit, asks him to consider. Maybe this is the most fascinating thing that's ever happened in his stupid life. Don't ignore that. Chris reaches out to Cece and learns that there haven't been any reported deaths in the house. Well, that's good. She also put them in touch with an amateur psychic, or rather someone with second sight. He agreed to let her come by tomorrow. Rebecca cannot believe the madness, holding up her hands in disbelief. Lisa comes by the next day, the spirit watching her arrive from the window. Just about to step inside, she is stopped in her tracks by the presence with a gasp. Lisa gets situated and wheezes to Chris that he's fooling himself, quite cryptically. She rises and goes right to the mirror and knows that Chloe's middle name is Blue. No big deal, Chris told her that already. But then Lisa mentions that she's lost a friend, and he did not tell her that. She knows her pain and trauma here, but this experience has actually brought her more than that. She is sensitive in ways that others are not. Essentially, Chloe has some of the same kind of psychic attributes as well. Her husband Carl lays it out. It's like a door. Most people are always closed. Sometimes it's open just a crack, like when you dream or when we experience God. But for a select few, this door is somehow open due to things like trauma or sickness of the mind. But for even fewer people, the door is always open. It's not all positive, however, as some people can't actually bear it and choose to end their perception rather than try to endure it. For example, Lisa has been open her entire life. She knows there is indeed a presence here, and it is connected to Chloe. She doesn't know its identity, however, and feels the spirit is confused as well. It doesn't know why it's here, but something happened to it, probably here in the house. There's another very important aspect established here. For these spirits on the other side, time moves completely differently than here. All time happens all at the same time. Lisa concludes that the presence knows that it needs to do something, but hasn't figured out what. She strolls to the mirror and compliments the glass. They're so much better than the new ones. Like old people, they've seen more. Help her, she pleads, and something overtakes her. Her breath gets short and she needs a break. Well, at least they have a better idea of what they're dealing with here. After that, Chloe is okay, but Tyler is still bristly, spitting that they are all freaks and leaves. Rebecca is skeptical too. Did you pay her? Yeah, well, she didn't even want to come. Cece had to convince her. He was trying to be nice. She is resolute. That woman is never setting foot in this house again. Chloe returns to the mirror and touches it to no reaction. She checks on her dad, and he's disappointed, thinking he's made all this worse. The presence zips back upstairs to its hidey hole in the closet. Sometime later, Chloe and Ryan have sex, the presence still watching on from the closet. After, Ryan offers to get a beverage, but no booze. You got it, beautifully smirks, giving her a kiss. She has something weird to tell him if he can just listen. She confirms that no one will be home for hours, and he's off to get the juice. She leaves to take a shower, the spirit's still frozen in place. He returns with a drink, and we see that he has nefarious intentions. He pulls out a packet and proceeds to spike the beverage. They float up for a closer look, and the spirit manages to rattle the table, spilling the glass. This breaks them up for the moment, but Ryan is hopeful that they can see each other again real soon. There's a perfect opportunity not too long away. Her parents are going out of town for the weekend. The only hurdle is Tyler, but Ryan is confident he can take care of him. Uh-oh, this kid is gonna be a problem. He quite unconvincingly says that he loves her, and she retorts to shut up, leading to more making out, and the spirit retreats to his spot. While Chloe is studying, her ever-supportive dad pops up in the door and gives her a startle. He opens up about his relationship with Rebecca. He knew that she was always out of his league, but that was okay, he says. She liked being in control, and making all the decisions made her happy. Back to that control thing that Ryan was rambling about. In a roundabout way, Chris tries to relate to Chloe's unusual situation. His mother was devoutly religious and held many beliefs that he found, well, nuts. Then later in life, he considered, maybe she could have been right. What does he even know about anything? He doesn't have the answers or even the questions. It all boils down to the fact that he believes her. Something is here with us, and somehow she can sense it. He certainly knows that she is different from the rest of us and hopes that she never changes. The two sharing a warm hug. Lisa shows back up, seen by the presence from upstairs. Chris attempts to get her to leave, and she now believes it's all real too. There's something bad coming that hasn't happened yet. She saw a window that doesn't open. He refuses to listen, and she shouts after about the window. On the way back to her car, Lisa looks up and sees the spirit staring back down. While Chloe is asleep, the presence tries to wake her with a thunderous boom. It rumbles again and has no effect, almost seeming its powers, so to speak, are getting weaker. Then Rebecca and Chris are getting ready for their work trip weekend. He's curious if one dude, Alan, is going to be there from legal. Well, everyone is, she remarks. He thinks that, yeah, maybe we should meet with him, just the two of us, to see if there might be any threats regarding whatever mysterious and no doubt shady deal she did. Chris takes her close and comes clean about his potentially leaving. But after everything, he's decided to stick by her side no matter what. She remains cagey, feeling he doesn't understand, and he pleads that he wants to. So at least they kind of worked out their stuff a little bit. Maybe? It's time for the trip, and Chris bids Chloe goodbye, asking her to please make good choices, and warns it's the stupid ones that tend to last forever. He also requests for her to not have any visitors, but knows that probably won't happen. The kids take advantage of the empty house, with Tyler drinking and rocking some tunes. The presence is all up on him, and it seems now that even Tyler can sense something there. Ryan shows up and immediately rips on his music taste. Of course, he offers him a beverage and updates him about the victim of his prank. Simone is gone on a straight-up mental health leave. Wow, Wow, great prank, bro. Ruin this girl's life for the giggles. Unsurprisingly, Ryan spikes the drink and they toast to us, the strong men that survive. They glug the drink and decide to have another per Ryan's suggestion. Before long, Tyler is out like a light. Ryan tests him for any reaction and the drugs have him unconscious. We can see where things are going as he prepares another drink with the destination of Chloe's room. Hey, sexy, he greets her slimily. She asks about her brother and he tells her that's all taken care of. This makes Chloe uncomfortable. She's not okay with him drugging her brother. This causes Ryan to go full-on emotional manipulation and starts whimpering. He's such an asshole. He cries he's so alone. And Chloe attempts to comfort him, saying he's not. His little display convinces her to take the drink and she downs it in one gulp. She just wants to lie here for a while. They don't even have to say anything. He whispers, "Nothing's gonna happen. It's all your call, girl." As Chloe becomes sedated, his tone then turns sinister. "Oh, you like being in control? Well, that's only because I gave it to you. It's mine to give." He reveals he has done something similar before, and it turned him on. Oh boy. Chloe groans that she's not feeling well, and he coos that he's got her. "It's so fragile," he waxes. "So thin. One second you're alive, and the next you're not." It's that line that he's most interested in. He thinks about it all the time and even dreams about it. He has a physical representation of just how thin that line is. An incredibly thin roll of plastic wrap, not even a centimeter thick. He's curious if she can imagine just how thin it is, and offers to show her, like he showed the other two, meaning that he killed Nadia and the other girl as well. Whoa, this dude is even more reprehensible than we thought. The presence tries to intervene with its rumble, but it has no effect. Ryan toys with her, placing and removing the plastic over her mouth, and the spirit keeps rumbling. He knows that her death would be regarded as just another stupid girl overdosing, just like all the other stupid girls. The presence furiously floats downstairs to the unconscious Tyler. It manages to fiddle with the lights, making them blink erratically. It thumps over and over, trying to get him awake. A high-pitched whistle right into his ear manages to do the job. Tyler shoots up and shouts for Chloe, stumbling to his feet. He already somehow knows that something is wrong. He finds Ryan in a room. "Get away from her," he grunts and grabs him. The pair briefly tussle and wind up tumbling right out of the window and falling to their deaths. It seems like he could have thought through that plan of attack a little more. Well, Tyler saved his sister at least. Can't help but think of what Chris said earlier. It wouldn't kill you to stand up for your sister once in your life. Guess he was wrong about that. He did it once and now he's dead. Whoops. And of course, there was also Lisa's vision about the unopening window and something coming soon. In the aftermath, the family packs up to leave. The presence is still there and follows Chloe downstairs. Rebecca is seen staring blankly out the window and asks for another minute. Her daughter tells her to take her time. They'll be waiting outside. The spirit lingers over her shoulder and the high-pitched whistling returns. It draws her away and leads her to that mirror. There, the identity of the presence is finally revealed. And nope, it's not Nadia, but Tyler himself. Upon seeing him, Rebecca breaks down. "It's my baby," she cries, and then realizes that he saved Chloe. The others join her side and all try to comfort her, assuring her it's gonna be okay. But wait, how could Tyler save Chloe if he was already dead? Well, we remember what Lisa said about how time works with the other side. Basically, Tyler's spirit was in a time paradox and experiencing the past and present and future all at the same time. So the only way that he could save his sister was to die in the first place. Saving his sister's life must have been why Tyler's spirit stuck around. Now that it's done his duty, his spirit can move on. He flies high into the sky, ascending into the clouds, now finally at peace. That brings us to the conclusion of this evening explained for Presents. Now, if you have any other TV shows or movies you'd like to see me cover, let me know on any of my social media accounts. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. Thanks for watching FoundFlix. See you next time.